Ladies first, ladies first.
What's good, New York City and beyond? I'm superhero DJ John Quick from Scratch Vision and WBLS New York City. And you're in tune to the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. Let's warm this up right, y'all.
Ladies first, ladies first. Ladies first, ladies first. Ladies first, ladies first.
First up,
Ladies first.
Chandra in the building. What's good, Chandra?
Ladies first, ladies first.
We got Crystal in the building. What's good, Crystal?
Ladies first, ladies first.
We can't forget Lachelle in the building.
Ladies first, ladies first. Ladies first, ladies first.
And last but not least, the founder of the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew, Nikki. So ladies, if you're at home, get up out your seats, put your hands in the air. We're about to put it down. It's the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. Let's go.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew, where we honor the voice of the everyday woman. Shout out to DJ John Quick. Thank you, John. Hi, beautifuls. How y'all doing?
Lovely.
Hello.
Y'all look so pretty.
I'm loving the Pocahontas, Chandra.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? I had
Oh, to the waist. To the waist.
Yes.
Just want to give a quick shout out and love out to our girls, Ed May and Nikki Boss today. Shouting you guys out. We miss you today. I want to start off, y'all, real quick. How y'all doing? Chandra, how you doing, baby? How are you? I know. How are you doing?
You can say it. You can say it.
Woo, y'all. It has been a interesting week. I'm actually good, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Quick story. I had a New York City faux pas and my ceiling fell in. And so a pipe burst, a leak or something. I don't know. All the things. And there's
why is that a New York City faux pas? That happens in other places.
Nah.
I'm the New York girl.
This is the first time it's ever happened in Texas. Like, it's a New York City thing. Like, I had before moving to New York, I never even knew pipes freeze.
Get her, Lachelle. Get her. We're the New York girls.
That's that West Coast sleeping out.
I think that's some. Okay, continue.
Didn't even know pipes freeze. How about that?
All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, the good thing was that my sister-in-law was here and she was able to be with Callie to help, us to be able to do, Autumn and I to be able to take care of whatever else, excuse me, we needed to take care of. But, I have this thing here called a gratitude jar. And every Sunday we put in our gratitude of the week, like something that, and I'm just grateful that I still have a home, that it's still warm, and it wasn't anything damaging that we had to evacuate.
Yes.
I'm even more grateful that the person who's fixing it is my neighbor, who's like half a block away, and he can come at any time and do whatever he needs to do. So, I'm a little heightened, but I'm good. I'm here. I had time. I'm here. I did my hair.
You did your hair.
You did, Chandra. You know how when you growing up in church, how you feeling today? Blessed and
highly favored, honey.
Highly favored. You know how to Well, we are glad that you are feeling that things are better. You look beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
that is, and I love that you mentioned the whole gratitude. I just want to send love and shout out to people in Texas. If you have friends and family in Texas,
We do
I
too.
have a good girlfriend out there. Just they didn't have power, like they're still without power. They're
Yeah.
first, so sending. We sending Texas love this morning and prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Lachelle Wooten, how you feeling today?
I feel fantastic. Good morning.
You got to
Um,
sit out.
yeah, listen, honey, I was just telling Crystal the thing about bodies is that I've discovered that shoulders never sag and never wrinkle. So listen, put your best shoulder forward, or both of them. Why don't you? So I'm doing fantastic. I feel good. I talked to both my boys last night, which was good because they grown and I did my job and got them with their wings flying into the world, and they almost never look back at the nest to be like, "You good, Ma?" So yesterday we all got on the phone and they gave me some love and we caught up on how they're doing. So that filled my soul, and I'm feeling great this morning.
That's awesome. Good. You look good. And then Miss Crystal James Goodwin. What's good, girl?
I'm good. I was speaking of your shoulders. I was like, I want to wear something that looks a little like, this, right? When you go like, I want to look like this. So I feel good. I can't, no complaints, no complaints. The sun is shining in where I am, New Jersey, and because in this part of the country it's also been very cold and snowy. So sun shining the way, when the sun rises earlier and earlier now, it just lets you know that regardless. I got a little sermon too, Chandra. Wait for this. This too shall pass. Whatever your this is, right? The sun always rises. And I feel good.
That's great. That's great. I'm feeling good this morning. This is one of the first Saturdays I didn't teach this morning. So I kind of eased into my Saturday morning. It felt good, and I missed my class. I miss y'all, but I'll see y'all soon. And had a little cup of coffee. My man made me some breakfast. And his birthday's tomorrow, and he made me breakfast. Yeah, Billy's birthday.
Hey, Billy.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy pre-birthday. And he made you coffee this morning.
Coffee. He made me breakfast. I do want to share something with you guys. You know how last week we had Lady Diana on, right? And Billy and I had Lady Diana on our show that Thursday before, and she gifted us a couple session. We had the couple session yesterday. Y'all, it was amazing. Like, I just got a ping, and it, Billy and I, y'all have heard me say during quarantine, we've really come together, but just really taking the moment to stare in each other's eyes for 30 seconds and not giggle. Well, he never giggles. I'm the giggle one, like he like I'm a child. But and just but just really taking a moment to look into his face and see how handsome he is, and just being really grateful and blessed. And we tapped into some things. So I just want to shout out to Lady Diana. I'm telling you, she is the truth. You get yourself a Lachelle Wooten, a Crystal James Goodwin, a Chandra Prophet, a Nikki Boss, a Ed May, and we got a Lady Diana. You get all that, we are good to go. We are good to go. So hollering at all the ladies this morning. Who I see you guys holler at us. Let's see, we got Angie Catlett, Chandra Lanier. What's up, baby? I'm so glad to see you. We got Miss Murdy with us. We got Stacy. Hey, we got Julie. Awesome. This is awesome, you guys. And Carrie, yes, thank you for tuning in. Let us know that you are here. So today's show, we've been doing this Finding Your series. We had our Finding Your Fit, the physical edition. Last week, we had Finding Your Sexual Superpower, Lady Diana. And this week we are back to Finding Your Fit Part 2, the emotional, mental, and spiritual edition. And I have a client who is also has become a very dear friend of mine that has an amazing story on how she shifted her life. She made different choices in order to save her life. And the ladies and I were talking, and we were saying we need to have Miss MAIJA Williams on our show to really hear her story. And then we're going to chime in. We want you guys to chime in. Lachelle's going to come in and really lead us into how we cheat ourselves to treat ourselves. So this is just a show about the mental, emotional, and spiritual. As a fitness expert, as I started to get older, and I realized that it was deeper than squats and push-ups. Now, squats and push-ups are good. They're great. But sometimes we need just a little bit more. We need a little bit more to get us aligned in order to move to do the squats and push-ups, in order to move to do what makes us feel good. So without further ado, I want to bring on the fabulous, the amazing Miss MAIJA Williams. MAIJA! She is one of our viewers. She's been rocking with us since we started. So she's our viewer guest of the week. Yes, MAIJA. How are you, honey?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Thank you all for having me. I love the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. I'm like every Saturday, like after I work out with Nikki, got to get dressed, get myself together, even though y'all can't see me, but I still be trying to get myself together so I could be on the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. Today I'm here and I'm live, so I could be seen. So I put on a red lipstick.
We can see you and you look beautiful.
You look good, gal. Yeah.
Good. MAIJA, tell the people back home just a little bit about yourself, your mom, your wife. Tell them a little bit about yourself, where you're from, before we get into the juicy juice, okay?
Okay, sure. So I was born and raised in Harlem, so big up to Harlem. I always say Harlem is its own borough, and we believe that, so don't debate us. I lived in Manhattan pretty much all my life. I did live in Brooklyn for a small time, with my family. I have a lot of family in Brooklyn, so shout out all my Brooklyn peeps because that's where my dad's from. I am a mother. I have a 10-year-old son who keeps me busy. I am a wife. I've been married for 12 years, going on 13. This May will be 13 years. And I work in biomedical research. A lot of people don't know that, but I work for Rockefeller University, and we do a lot of interesting things in biomedical research. And I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, so shout out to all my sorors out there. And I'm a very active community participant. Right now, we live in Westchester, in Harrison. It's different. It's not Harlem. But, you got to go where the school systems provide the resources for your children. So I'm here. But I do miss Harlem a lot. And that's about it in terms of my personal, who I am and what makes me up. I love to party. I'm a social butterfly. So I was sad when Carnival was canceled this year because I was ready to go to Trinidad, but Corona had other plans. But I'm here. So I'm glad to be here with you all and tell you a little bit about my spiritual, mental, and health journey and how I saved my life.
Yeah, MAIJA, let's I want to get into it. I've known MAIJA since we were in our 20s. Mm-hmm. I met MAIJA right before MAIJA joined my class, right before I left to go on tour with Dream Girls, which was years ago. And I followed her journey, and MAIJA has hit a huge milestone. Tell them, MAIJA, tell them. I want you to tell them what your milestone is and really get into what was the shift. What did you choose? You chose yourself. What was the shift to get you on this trajectory?
Sure. So over the last year, and tomorrow will actually really mark a whole year that I actually really started this lifestyle journey, for good this time. And I have to say that because like Nikki said, I've known her since the 90s and I've been on and off, kind of health, wellness, fitness journey since then. But I honestly have to say that this last year, starting February of 2020 to now, was basically, in 2020 when I started my lifestyle journey, and I haven't looked back since. Over this last year, I've lost over 100 pounds. I've been working religiously with Nikki since April, 5 days a week. And that ain't easy, but it's been a blessing. I always tell Nikki that if it wasn't for her, I honestly don't know what I would have done. Because, in February, I decided to change my life, and the pandemic happened in March. And it was like, okay, so now what? What are you going to do? Home. How do you keep yourself motivated? You're going to be virtually schooling a 10-year-old who's in 5th grade. You have your own job you have to do that, 5, sometimes 6, 7 days a week. And you're doing a job in the middle of the pandemic. You're trying to be a wife. Your husband's an essential employee working in emergency room during the pandemic. So how do you, pivot, as Chandra likes to say, and I always remember her, her story about how she pivoted. Like, what are you going to do differently in order to save your life? Because I constantly kept hearing, every time on the TV when they talk about COVID, you're high risk if you're obese. I'm like, oh, that's me. You're high risk if you have heart disease. I'm like, oh, that's me. I have heart disease. A little bit about my story. Back in 2011, when my son was just a baby, 9 months, I had a heart attack. Didn't even know I was having a heart attack, but I was severely obese. Heart disease runs in my family, and I didn't feel good. And I'm home with a baby alone, and I just started not feeling good. And then I called my husband. I'm like, something's wrong. I don't feel good. And unbeknownst to me, I was having a heart attack. Thank God I reacted quick, called 911. They came, and, by the grace of God, I'm here. And it's once you're faced with mortality like that, and especially at a young age, you start to think differently. What are you going to do differently about your health, about your life? How are you going to change things? So when the pandemic happened, it was like another shift. Like, you're stuck in the house. You're in the house pretty much for however God knows how long you're going to be here. What are you going to do different? How are you going to shift, and how are you going to change? And I decided that fitness, not only physical fitness, but mental and spiritual fitness, had to be the way to save my life. I have a little group of friends that we started in this pandemic, and it's been great. Every Monday morning at 6:30, we meet for prayer. And we meet for about, 20 to 30 minutes just to pray, to get our week started, to really get us refocused about, what we're going to do this week, to really support each other, during this pandemic. And that's been a blessing. Working out with Nikki and the group has been a blessing. I started bringing all my family and friends into the group because I felt like, in terms of overall health and wellness, it's not just about me. It's about the people that I surround myself with. And we all need to be healthy, and we all need to, decide how we take care of ourselves during this pandemic. And it's been a blessing. And I'm just so grateful for the many different changes that I've decided to make in my life. And working out has been a really big one. When I had my heart attack in 2011, I had to have 2 stents placed in my heart. And one thing I didn't know is that when you have stents placed in, especially back then, because we're talking 10 years ago, unfortunately, sometimes they get scar tissue. And I didn't know that. But, I found out about a month and a half ago. I was working out with Nikki. We were doing our group. Everybody's on. And I just didn't feel good all of a sudden. And I'm like, something's wrong. I don't feel good. And again, my husband was on his way home from work, and I'm like, I don't feel good. Something ain't right. And thank God that I decided to change my life and really start working on my health and working out, because had I not done that, this would have been a different conversation. Like, I wouldn't have even been here right now. Because, my heart has gotten so much stronger over this last year with all the physical fitness activity, with all the spiritual healing and, everything that I've done for myself, that I was able to save my life again. Here I am faced with mortality again. And by the grace of God, there was no new damage to my heart, but I had another heart attack. And that made me realize that everything that I've been doing for myself, and the same thing my cardiologist said, is beneficial and it's working, and it makes me not only feel good, on the inside, but I look good on the outside too. So I take it, it's great.
Hey, Maya, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I just want to get clear. So a month and a half ago,
Mm-hmm.
you had a heart attack.
I did.
But the reason you survived it is because your heart was in such good condition from what you had been doing for yourself with working out and your spiritual well-being and your mental well-being over the last year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, had you not been doing that, your body would not have sustained what your heart went through
again.
A month and a half ago. Girl.
Exactly. And that's exactly even my cardiologist, like she said, this would have been a different conversation a year ago. That was her first words to me when I went to see her after I was at the hospital. She was like, this would have been, thank God you made the decision to change your life. Because this could have been a different conversation. Thank God I had no new damage to my heart, which is because I decided to make all of these changes in my life and not just focus only on the health of the physical, but the mental. Really, I started journaling, just really focusing on me and really trying to give myself, because I do a lot for everybody else. But I realized in this pandemic, I got to do something for me. I got to give me
right. That's right.
That's what and it's beneficial. It saved my life.
I mean, that's what I've been talking about as far as just overall wellness is figuring out the mental first, because you can, like I said before, I had been working out. We all work out. We all move. We all do things like that. But until it connects with yourself, with you mentally, it don't work. It don't work. Like it's just you going through the motions, and your body doesn't connect with that feeling. So once you get the emotional aspect of it, the mental aspect of it, and all of now the physical aspect, and all those things are now like, oh, okay, I understand. We're working as one, not as three.
Right. We're together now. Exactly.
We're working as one to go to oh, your heart's hurting. Hold on. Come on, y'all. Right. Come on, girl. Come on, girl.
Maya, I have a question for you too. Because in women, heart attacks appear probably in ways that people don't recognize. Yes. I was one of the people in the class that day. You just disappeared off screen. Right. So can you talk about like what happened, like in that moment? What did you feel and what did you do?
Sure, that's a great question, and it's something that I always, when I speak to my friends and my family, especially women, about knowing the signs. So the first thing people think heart attack, they think chest pain, and actually in women that is not usually the case. That is not usually the first sign that you're having a heart attack. So for me, at this time, it was gastrointestinal at first. Like I kind of felt nauseous, sick. So sometimes you feel nauseous. So I kind of felt nauseous, but I was like, well, yeah, I'm working out with Nikki. So, you work out hard. Sometimes you get nauseous, you get a little sick. So I was like, I'm not really, but it was the feeling, the nausea was like really like bad. And I'm like, wait, I really feel sick. And then it wasn't until my husband got home. Once he came home, one thing that I always say to women, the moment you start to feel your jaw getting tight, so then my jaw started to get tight because I was like tingling a little bit in my, my extremities. And when I say my extremities, I mean my hands and down my arms. It was tingling, but it wasn't sharp pain. And I'm like, oh, it's tingling, but it's not really sharp pain. So I'm not really sure if that's my heart. It wasn't until my jaw started to get tight that I was like, okay, call 911. Something's wrong with my heart. So usually you start to get like a tightness in your jaw. And, usually that's a sign that something's not right with your heart. You start to get like tingling and numbness in your extremities, in your arms. So for women, usually those are kind of like some of the telltale signs that something's going on with your heart. You start feeling, some gastrointestinal issues, maybe a little diarrhea, nausea, and you start to feel a little tingly, and then your jaw gets tight. And usually by the time your jaw gets tight, then that might be when you start, shortness of breath, and then you might start to have chest pain. But usually the tail sign is that when something's going on with your heart is your jaw starts to get tight. And because I know that, and then my husband's a nurse, we both looked, I'm like, call 911. We both looked at each other like, oh no, something's wrong. Call 911. So
you might have just saved someone's life, Maya, by saying that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a very scary thing. And then the thing is, I didn't have shortness of breath. So people always think like you start to have shortness of breath, you have chest pain. I didn't have any of that. And a lot of that is because I have become so fit over this last year. So my heart wasn't really pumping. It didn't need to like pump harder in that sense to get
working harder.
Right. It didn't need to. It was like, well, we good because you've been working your hardest, but something ain't right in there. We don't know what's going on, So I had to have a procedure done, which is where they go in and they do an angioplasty. That's when they go in through your artery. They went through my wrist and they take a look at your heart. And that's when they identified there was no new damage, thank God. But the stents that they put in 10 years ago had some scar tissue around them. So what they do at that point is they do something called a balloon procedure where they reopen up the stent that was placed there to allow the blood flow to come back. So I'm here and I feel great. And I've still been working out with Nikki and my cardiologist. Happy about it. So,
is that a procedure that you have to now get like every couple of years or something to prevent this from happening again?
No. So the thing is, the angioplasty is a very invasive procedure. It's something that you just don't do on a normal basis. It's basically usually when you have some sort of cardiac episode that they decide, okay, we need to go in and actually look. And it's a way for them to do a non-invasive procedure to actually take a look inside your heart. For me, what I have to do, which I've been doing since 2011, is I have to see a cardiologist every 6 months, which I do, and I'm religious about that. And I also have to do stress tests. So usually I do a stress test once every other year. And the stress test is where you run on a treadmill, they take a look they do more of an echocardiogram. So it's not as an invasive procedure of looking at your heart, but it's a way for them to determine how your heart is pumping and to make sure that your heart is pumping regular. And if they see anything that looks suspicious, that's when they would then send you to the cardiac cath lab for an angiogram. But it's such an invasive procedure that they don't do it as part of normal cardiac, and rehab. It's just more so if you have an actual cardiac episode that they need to actually really look and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's scary because they're going in, your artery and things can happen. So it's a very scary procedure, but it had to get done. And the science in me, I'm always like, let me see. Let me look. Look, I'm like, yeah, I want to see you pump that dye. I want to see what the issue is. So, and it's scary, but it's an experience and it's something.
And they like, girl, let us knock you out so we can get this done.
They give you a life sedative, but I always want to look. Like, I'm so curious. I always want to look. So, yeah.
I mean, Maya, one of the reasons we wanted you on the show, number one, we love you. And we wanted people to hear your story. People over here, Miss Murdy just said, thanks for such valuable info. It's like hitting the lottery. Chandra just said, one of the things she loves about you is that you really break down information in layman terms. And I agree with Crystal. You really did. You're saving people's lives right now by sharing your story. And I love how open you are and authentic you are. And I do have to say that I want you to stay on with us today. Okay. And we continue to talk about the mental and emotional. Someone said mental block is real. Carrie said mental block is real. It is. And I want you to stay on with us. But I do want to shout you out with this. So Maya tells me, Nikki, the doctor said I can get back to working out next week. And I'm like, what? I'm like, slow your roll. I do have to be honest with you. I'm going to say this. Maya texts me. She says, I don't want you to be alarmed, but I just had a heart attack. So first person I call, of course, Miss Pat. She couldn't be found. So guess who I call? I call Crystal. Crystal. I'm like, oh my God. I don't heard Maya. I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, I hit her. I text her husband. I text Miss Nanette. I text everybody. And then, when Maya hit me up and she was saying that her doctor was saying as a result of her putting herself first and taking care of her body and working out and exercising, the collateral circulation around her heart was vast and it saved her life. I called Crystal. I never told you this, Maya. I busted out crying.
But we're both crying on the phone, like ugly cry, because we love you. And I'm going through like, what is Nikki feeling right now? Like she went from feeling like, oh my God, did I cause this, to, oh my God, because of this,
Right.
Anyway, Nikki, you doing God's work.
Exactly. I tell her that all the time. Even my family and friends who are working out with Nikki now, like she has saved their lives. Like she doesn't even realize the amount of thank yous I get in my text messages for putting them on to Nikki. I mean,
so wait, but Maya, so she crying, I'm crying, you're fine. You asking the doctors to see.
You're fine. But
they didn't even keep me overnight. Usually when you have that procedure, they keep you overnight. The interventional cardiologist was like, you can go home.
You can go home, girl. You just
you can go home. We don't need to keep you here. He was like, you're fine.
And then we start to work out. She grabs. So Maya, we got like 50 pounds. Like Maya, we are power cleaning, hang cleaning. She's killing it. She go grab the 10 pounds. I'm like, we're going to do 5s and 3s. So that's been doing 5s and 3s. But Maya, I want you to stay on. We are so happy you are here. I do want to transition into, as we were talking about you during our meeting this week and talking about the story of the physical, the combination of the physical, but also in the mental, emotional, spiritual, and really being clear how this mental, emotional, spiritual, that's what we need, y'all. And I didn't get it until I started getting older. When I was in my 20s as a trainer, my clients would be like, Nikki, I'm comfort eating and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And in the back of my head, I used to be like, well, what's wrong with you? Just stop eating. And it wasn't until my boyfriend had his accident in 2012 and I was getting in my mid 30s and now I'm in my 40s. I became a comfort eater for the first time. I became a stress eater for the first time. I didn't get fit with Nick, did not want to work out. I gained 30 pounds. Now I know what to do to work out, to get back to what to do, but I didn't feel like it. And the reason I didn't feel like it, Chandra Prophet said it, my mental and my emotional, I was blocked. I was done. And I didn't know how to get back. And I really, if I'm being totally honest, I didn't seriously start getting back until almost a year ago when we went through this pandemic and we started this show. And I get fed every day from Lachelle, Chandra, Nikki, and Edme and Crystal every day. And you guys at home, that I started to, number one, my mental block was I wasn't putting myself first, which is something I still work on every day. But Lachelle said something the other day that we cheat ourselves in order to treat ourselves. And I really want us to get into that, Shelly.
Yeah. I actually heard that from a client of mine, and it was like a light bulb went off, right? And it goes back. You were saying, Nikki, like about the comfort eating. We are cheating our well-being. And we are cheating our balance and our wholeness and our peace and our opportunities to feel good, like mind, body, and spirit, when we treat ourselves to things that make us feel good in the moment, right? We know that ice cream feels good in the moment. We know skipping a workout class feels good in the moment because we're resting or we're relaxing or we're having something savory. But we actually often do that way too much, right? It reminds me of just the lifestyle Maya described of herself before she made this decision to make this change. She was treating herself to things that comforted the things that didn't feel so good, right? And we do that a lot, very easily. We do that with food. We treat ourselves to like hours and hours of television. We treat ourselves to things that in the moment feel good, feel like a treat. But ultimately, what it's doing for our spirit and for our emotional balance and our mental well-being, it's cheating us out of the quality of life we really want to have. So we have to start to like check ourselves around this and get really clear about where am I treating myself, which is causing me to cheat myself from something else. Like Maya's story today is a full testament, right? Because she said she's been working out with you for almost a year, 5 days a week. Okay, that clearly was not part of her lifestyle before. And the other things that she could have been doing or was doing before she decided to spend her time taking care of herself in that way, that felt like a treat, right? It feels like a treat to eat ice cream. It feels like a treat, and it is. But if we are in a steady, unbalanced, unhealthy pattern of constantly treating the challenge in the moment, the burden in the moment, then we're cheating ourselves out of a quality life, a balanced, holistic quality life overall. So we have to start paying attention. Like everyone who's here today, really remember this. Don't cheat yourself so that you can treat yourself in this moment.
Woo, woo, talking. Go ahead, Chandra.
It's just so good. It's so good. It's just so good, y'all. Like, come on. I was sitting here thinking, like, you know, how have I been doing that? Like, I'm just trying to like fact check myself right now and really see how have I been doing that? Because I think the issue becomes that we as multifaceted human beings, mothers, wives, sisters, all the things, we might tell ourselves little lies to say that we aren't, you know, cheating ourselves to treat ourselves. So I'm trying to really like go do an emotional like fact check and see like what have I been really telling myself that is one thing and it really is the other. You know,
absolutely. It's something I would love to pose to the group. I feel like for me, it's like it's suffering from this block, right? Like really not being able to get past. Let's just use, you know, Maya's example of working out 5 days a week. Like saying that's too much. I could do 2 days a week. I could do maybe 3. You know, and the thing is, if you needed to do something else 5 days a week that you valued in a different way, you would do it. You would 7 days a week, you would do it. All right. So then how is it? And maybe Maya, like what was the turning point for you in February of 20 to get you to say, regardless of how tired I am, regardless of how I feel, despite the fact that my body hurts, or for you to have lost, I've never met you in person, right? We've only seen each other virtually. So for you to have lost 100 pounds, you can't do that doing something halfway, right? So how did that work for your here to here, or maybe here to here to physical? Like what was that for you?
That's a great question. And, you know, I think for me, the light bulb was really just my overall health. Like I just did not feel good. You know, overall, I've always been a big girl. So for me, you know, being a big girl was never a thing. Like I'm married. My husband looked good. I look good. I was always a big girl. I never had an issue with being a big girl. I just didn't feel good. So that was my thing. Like I didn't feel good. You know, I was going to see my cardiologist, and even though I was sporadically working out, you know, not really on a regimen, you know, my health was not good. Like she kept increasing my high blood pressure medication. She's like, oh, we got to switch this because your pressure's high. And I'm like, so now I'm on 3 medications. I got to take, aspirin for the rest of my life because I had a heart attack. Like something got to give. Like my kidney's not going to make it. I'm going to be 50 and I'm going to be on dialysis. Like I don't want to live like that. So for me, it was kind of when the pandemic happened, it was like, all right, you see all these people dying around you, people who are healthy, but you really see the immunocompromised people who are really suffering, from this pandemic. And that could be you. Like it could be you. And you're home and you're not doing anything to prevent that from being you. So what can you do? It's like a light bulb went off in my head and was like, look, you got to make a decision. Like either you're trying to be here or you're not. And for me, I work in Manhattan, so traveling to work every day, it's like an hour and a half each way. And I said, that time has to be spent differently since I'm home. And what can I do differently? And that's when I call Nikki. I'm like, what you doing? What you doing in the pandemic? Help. Like, I need help. And it was when I made that click in my head. Like, you have to make a better decision for your life. Like, you have to basically have your mentals match up with what you want your physical to look like. And that's what I had to do. And it's like, once that clicked, it's like half the time I work out 6, sometimes 7 days a week. My husband be looking at me crazy because I done bought a Peloton. Me and my friends be texting, like, what ride you taking? Like, I'm addicted to exercise. And I would never, ever think I'd be that person. But because it finally, the physical fitness clicked in my mentals of, this makes me feel good. Because I guess before it didn't make me feel good, where it really makes me feel good now. I enjoy it. And I see how people are fitness trainers because they enjoy, providing that type of, resource for people and helping them feel good. Like I feel good when I work out. So it had to click in my head mentally in order for me to be able to commit to 5 days a week physically. And like you say, even when my body hurts, because, sometimes my body be hurting from Tuesday to Thursday.
Girl.
And did all them squats and push-ups on Tuesday with Nikki. Now she want to do arms on Thursday. You like, I'm hurt. I can't even move.
You like, girl.
You there, and it feels good. So it just had to click with the mental. And once it did that, it's like, it's part of my lifestyle now. So now it's not a chore. It's really like a part of my lifestyle. It's like getting up to eat for me now. It's like, you know what? Let me do a little 20-minute, Peloton workout, or I'm getting up at 7 to work out with Nikki. It doesn't bother me anymore. And I'm not a morning person. So the fact that I get up, to me, is crazy. It's like exercise and, this mental health that I've really put forth and put forward has really changed how I even live my life on a daily. Like I'm up, I'm ready to get started. Let's do it.
Oh, I can't tell. Chandra said, that was good that you recognized that you needed help. You had someone knowledgeable to reach out to, and you didn't just think you should do it, but you acted on it. I love how your testimony can reach so many who need to hear this. Yes, who need to know that they too can change things around. You are a living, walking testimony. And I think one of the big things Chandra just said, you recognize that you needed help. That's huge. I think sometimes when we go through these mental, emotional, spiritual blocks and physical blocks, we get to know that there is support out there. There's tremendous support out there. I personally, Lachelle Wooten, I remember I would always think about, do I need a life coach? Do I need this? Do I need that? And having a friend and mentor who's a life coach, I realized that I needed help to get out of not just mental blocks for working out, but to get mental and emotional blocks out the way so I could move forward with my life. So I thank you, Chandra Lanier, for putting out there, recognizing needing help. We need to know as women that it's okay to get help. It's okay. We need support. That's why we created this show. We get to have support. And I just thank you for putting that out there. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, we said cheat ourselves to treat ourselves. When I was going through my little depression phase, you know, I'm like, get it with Nick. I'm Nikki Kimbrough. I'm always happy. Da, 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 da. But bitch won't happy for a minute. And I had a mental and emotional block, and I had to sit down, and, you know, I'm still working on putting myself first. And I was cheating myself to treat myself. Billy knew, you know, I like red wine, y'all. I like red wine. And I like an occasional blue moon. Okay. We knew there was a problem. Like, I would go to the store and buy like one blue moon. You know, I would just buy one. I know, pay like $3 to buy one just to treat myself on a Friday night. My man realized there was a problem when he first saw a 6-pack sitting in the refrigerator. and I'm just keeping it honest. And the 6-pack was gone in like 24 hours, you know? And I was like, what is wrong with me? And I found myself day drinking, and, you know, this is coffee in my cup, but sometimes it wouldn't be coffee in my cup. And so much that he'll tell you, I like went online. I said, do I have a problem? And then I was like, oh no, I don't have a problem. You know, I was like, no, but I realized that I was trying to mask the situation and cheating myself to make myself feel better. And I did not feel better. So what did I do? I sought help. I spoke to Lachelle. We figured things out. The biggest problem was I wasn't putting myself first. I had to figure out what my favorite color was again. I had to get clear on what it is that I wanted and that I needed. And so then she was the one, MAIJA, you got to thank Lachelle for this. Lachelle was the one. I told Lachelle, I actually like work. I like to work out. She goes, Nikki, you need to do a quarantine quarters class, blah, 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 blah. And I started it thanks to her. And as a result of having my clients every week, you guys helped me. Oh, y'all know I'm about to cry. To get my mojo back. You guys helped. I needed to seek help from my people and my clients in order for Get Them and Nick to get her mojo back, so she could start treating herself through the things that she loved in order to feel better and move better. And I just, I thank you guys.
Listen. I mean, just think about this. Just the gift of opening your mouth and saying, help me. Literally, right? Potentially, MAIJA could not be alive right now if Nikki didn't call me and say, I feel stuck. I don't know what to do. This pandemic, I don't understand this. And I was like, okay, well, what do you love to do? Well, what, you know, and then I was like, just do quarantine quarters. Like, you can teach us virtually. And she was like, I'm going to do it because I need to work out. I said, great, but offer it to us. And right after is when MAIJA said, I need help. And Nikki had help because she asked for help. And when MAIJA's heart a month and a half ago said, I need help, MAIJA had already had the help in place because she had been working and helping herself for almost a year, which is why we are having this conversation right now. A simple conversation, phone call, text message saying, I am not sure what's happening, but I need help, can not only change your life, but can trickle down and save multiple lives. And we women are so used to being the helpers that we have allowed ourselves to get away from understanding what it means to say, help me.
Yes, say that again, Shelly, please.
I mean, this is like breathtaking to me right now. Breathtaking. Like one phone call, I need help. Okay, 20 minutes of conversation, almost a year later, has improved all of our lives, the lives of everybody listening, and saved MAIJA's life literally alive today. Because Nikki made a call a year ago and said, Shelly, can you help me? That was it.
You know what? We don't realize or remember that a part of being is connection. A part of being human is connecting with other humans. And that is a part of our livelihood, you know? Like our lifeline basically is connection. Is finding the first connection that connects you to the next connection that connects you to the next thing, right? In every aspect of life. All we're doing is
Connecting.
filling in the dots, like connecting the dots. The common denominator is connection. Whew, I'm sweating.
Okay. Wait, I got something for you right now. Shelly, can you help me?
I can help you, sister. And you can help me.
Please, Shelly, girl. Look, get close to the camera.
Come on into the camera, girl.
Because I got people to help, clearly.
Yes.
So I need you to help me.
I'm with you.
That is all. I'm crying.
I know.
This is beautiful, and all the things when you were talking earlier, Maya, it made me think of figuring out a way to use different verbiage as well. Like, because a lot of times people have blocks just because it's like, I have to, the words work out, or the words, whatever, become blockage to us. And it made me think of a girl that I started following during my workout journey. Her whole slogan is healthy, not skinny. And I don't know what about seeing that clicked different for me. Because, in our society, like, healthy equals skinny. And it just, you feel like you have to be the most skinniest, snatched item on the plate to be considered healthy. And actually, like, just seeing those words, and she plasters it everywhere. Like, that's her motto. She has it on shirts. I know you guys probably see me in class with the shirt on. She has it on water bottles, everything. But healthy, not skinny. And it made me think of, like, going through things that I feel that I'm blocked with, and, like, maybe even trying to, like, figure out different verbiage to make it clearer for myself.
I love all of that, Chandra. Now, since I'm talking to you right now, I do want to shout out. I want to say one thing. One of the things that Chandra has done over the pandemic, she is a true entrepreneur, and she has a YouTube channel, you guys. YouTube, I have it up there. She has a YouTube channel, and every Wednesday she drops either Mommy and Me, how to braid her hair. She really is encompassing the whole physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. I encourage everyone, follow her on YouTube. We've really watched you really encompass all of that and share it on your YouTube page. So you're talking about needing some support, you can check out Chandra YouTube page. And she also, those cute little shirts we had on, like my vice president is a Black woman. She go to her new website, www.caligirlinc.net, and just look at the front page and all these powerful Black women supporting one another, helping one another to get what they need, and then for in order for us to move forward. So I wanted to shout you out on that.
Hey, friend.
We're going to start wrapping up, because Maya is actually double duty. She's got double duty today. She's in a meeting and she's got to go back to the meeting soon. But I wanted to throw out to people, if you have questions for Maya, for us, throw them out. As you write your questions, I want to continue talking about where you can get support. Our favorite life coach, Michelle Wooten, has a podcast, y'all. Abandoned Ordinary podcast. We all listen to it. I mean, it is dope. She just finished out this huge vision board workshop that I know she's going to do again. Y'all, listen to the podcast. It comes out she has a new episode every Monday. I listen to it in my shower. Like Crystal go, did you listen to the Lachelle's podcast? Nikki on Boss, I hit her up the other day. I said, what are you doing? I'm in my car listening to Lachelle's podcast. This is really good. So that's another area.
You just sound just like her.
It's not really good. It's another area of finding support. And then also, like I said, it's not always about push-ups and squats. Our girl Crystal, every other Friday, has Crystal Soul Line Dancing class. I know many of you guys, viewers that are on, already take it. Maya was on there last Friday. We were on there last Friday. Y'all, don't let line dancing fool you. Crystal make you get down low so you get your squats in. Murdy will tell you. And we are sweating. So that's another great way to get it in. And of course, if you want to get some push-ups and some squats in, you can come to your girl, Get Fit with Nick. I put IG at getfitwithnick.com. IG me, hit me direct message at Get Fit with Nick on Instagram. I do have a new series coming up on March 2nd. So I just wanted to let everybody know, look, you got support right here with the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. We are here for you as sisters every Saturday. I want to see, did anyone have any questions? Do we have any more questions? Nakia! Shout out to Nakia. Yes, thank you for coming on. Chandra says, oh, this was so life-giving. I love the work you ladies are doing to feed our mind, bodies, and souls with this chit-chat crew. Thank you, Chandra Lanier. Y'all, that's the producer telling us that we doing our thing. Thank you, Chandra Lanier. Julie says, what a fantastic show today. I feel so encouraged and inspired. Stacy, this is so motivational. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, guys. Maya, is there anything you want to leave us with? I know you got to get ready to go.
Yes, just thank you so much for allowing me to hang out with y'all today live and be seen. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that I was able to share my story with all of your viewers. And you can find me on Instagram. I'm Masani96. So if you're looking for me, you want to hang out, you want to follow my Peloton journey, I'm on Peloton too, Masani96. So you can reach me there because I do ride a lot. And that's it. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, Maya, this has been our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the Maya fans. I know you got some fans out there. Thank you for the Maya fans for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
We love you, Maya. We're going to let you get going back to your other meeting, and I will touch base with you later, babe. Okay? Thank you. That was great.
I'm exhausted. I need a nap. I need a nap. Oh my God. I'm so full right now.
Me too.
I'm so full.
Me too.
That was just wonderful. And it's just,
I can like cry at any moment, so I'm gonna stay muted.
y'all know I've been over here trying to. I said, don't say it. You know I'm about to cry. I'll be like,
I saw Chandra was like,
I was like, why it's so dusty in here? It must be that hole in the wall upstairs.
But you want to laugh because when you did that, I was like, is her ceiling coming in? I thought she was looking. I was like, uh-oh. And then I saw you do this. I said, she trying not to cry.
And I took the whole paper towel. I just said, forget them, man. The whole paper towel over my face. I can't. What a blessing. What a blessing.
A real blessing.
What a blessing. You guys want to say anything to wrap up before we get out of here?
I do.
Go ahead.
I literally have, in this almost a year that we have been together every Saturday, I have literally fallen in love with every one of you. I love y'all so much. Y'all have no idea how much you not only impact my life on a Saturday, but what you give and share of yourself every Saturday, it carries me through everything I face in the week. So I just want y'all to know I love y'all so much. And I'm in love with the audience because they keep us going. They make us laugh. They give us questions. They tell their stories. This is just a blessing. And I'm so thankful to be a part of it. So I appreciate the sisterhood and the love that each of you give so willingly.
Well, you know how we feel about you. In the words of Crystal James Goodwin, we love you like cooked food, girl. Sister Crystal always says. Shelly, you said something about loving the audience. Next, we're gonna put that history maker together. We're gonna put that history maker together. We got some good jewels that we're gonna drop to keep you guys involved and interactive with us. We're going to introduce it next Saturday, so you guys come back. You know, this is just dope. This is dope. Chandra, you got anything you want to say before we leave?
No, I can't. I'm just really full right now, and I don't want to explode. So I'm in a extreme. I'm in an extreme place of gratitude, like in this second, and I just want to just ride it and not overexpose it. So,
love that. I love your lip color too. It looks really nice.
Thank you.
Nikki Boss isn't here, so I'll tell you. Crystal, anything you want to say, baby?
I'm having a moment that confirms that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be with all of you, with what we have been able to share with one another, the having such gratitude for people like friends that we have like MAIJA, who is unapologetic and can say, listen, I wasn't doing well. And then something shifted. She said, you know what she said? She asked herself, what can I do differently? And when she said that, and she said she recognized that she needed help, I was like, what if that's what it's all about? What if I really, really don't have it together because I never asked for any help, right? So to piggyback on what everyone has said, you know, we help each other. We help each other, and there's no judgment. And if we can do that for each other, this is what we need to be doing for the world, right? Not just for us. So, look, where is it?
I'm so, they got no napkins. I'm like, we pull this set off.
Girl.
Oh, I that was beautiful. That was beautiful. DJ John Quick, we about ready to get out of here. Ladies, we love you. Thank you, Carrie, for saying you go tune in every Saturday, share it with your friends. We shout out Stacy and Jen and Ruth and everybody. Julie, everybody, Nakia, everybody, Flirty Murdy, we see you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. We see you next Saturday at 11 o'clock. Chandra, Crystal, Lachelle, I love you. Shout out to Edme and Nikki on Boss. DJ John Quick, take us out, boo. Oh, wait a minute, John ain't on. Hold on, let me get you.
That was a very beautiful show, and I normally would take you out with Ladies First, but you know, I love the way you express love to each other, so I'm gonna take you out with this record.
By the way that you talk,
check out the lyrics.
Even when you're not around, I feel you, boy. I feel you, boy.
And once again, be sure to share the video.
Perhaps it was
Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew, the realest ones out here, y'all. Let's sway, y'all.
I've been waiting my whole life to find someone like you. Find someone like you. Yeah. I've been waiting my whole life find someone like you.
We gonna let this one ride out, y'all. Let's go.
Baby, I want this to last forever.
Be sure to tell your friends to follow the Ladies Chit-Chat Crew on Facebook.
I want this. Can we make this last forever?
And of course, Wonder Women need love too.
Nothing's ever perfect, but you're perfect to me. I'm a fuck been asleep, you're a dream, I need you. So we got a past, I want you. Even when it's bad, I love you. I've waited my whole life. Find someone like you. Find someone like you.
Once again, very important, share the video, share the love, y'all. Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew, I'm John Quick, we about to get out of here.
Someone like you. Oh, baby, baby, I want this. Oh, I want this to last forever.
Once again, check the lyrics.
Oh, yeah. Baby,
So about that love vibe today.
can we make this last forever? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Big shout out to Crystal, Michelle, Nikki, Chandra, and of course Nikki, who's not with us, and Edna. They are the Ladies First Chit-Chat Crew. Share this love with your friends, y'all. Straight love vibe right here. Let's go. Choir, come through. Let's go. I love what my sister says. She's where she's supposed to be. That's so important, y'all. She's where she's supposed to be. Did y'all hear her? And you are right where you're supposed to be. Every Saturday, 11 p.m., y'all. 11 a.m., that is. I'm John Quick, and we out. Peace. I think it's it. Should be. Is it over?